have this little Corsa in. I have a good bit of work to do to this. It's going to be a Hillclimb car and it's going to be running much bigger wheels and long travel suspension. All the arch here, the whole tubs in the arch, has to be moved up slightly. It has to be moved up about 50 mil, I think. So all this has to be removed. And the shock tops are being moved up 50 or 60 mil as well and being all straightened. That one's already cut out, sort of in position roughly where it needs to go, so sort of floating there. This side has to be cut out to match it as well. And the whole thing has to be joined together and tubbed and made bigger. I think the rear has to be done as well. This is a front turret from a Super 1600 Works car. The customer wants something very similar to this. He has the turret already sitting in midair, sort of floating. So he wants me to put it roughly where it is and then copy it onto the other side. It's only sitting there, it's only held in by that bracket there. I think what I'll do is I'll take this out of the way and I'll make a plate up for this to bolt onto. I'll sit it in there underneath and maybe weld some stays up to hold it there, and then cut the far side out and try to get the two of them to match while they're just sort of floating there. And then when I get them to match, I'll build a whole tub up around them now. So you can see from the side, this blue line is roughly where this arch needs to be, so I have to move up that much. There's not really much there, but here there's quite a good bit here, and all these tubs are going to have to be moved up as well. And you can see that the new shock tower is actually going to be higher, a good bit higher than the original one. So the bottom might have to be modified as well. I'd say that's going to be sticking up through the bonnet. So this car is going to run really low, so all the suspension sort of has to come up into the shell, or else you'll run out of suspension travel. The car will be low, but you'll have no suspension travel. So the shock towers and everything have to move up to keep the travel. This plate came with the car, it's 3 mil thick, and this is going to mount underneath this actually, and this is going to be top of the strut tower. I'm actually going to copy this to make it run for the far side. I tried loads of different things with lasers and levels to try to get the cambers the same, but the easiest way to get it the same was to tie a bit of string on the top two bolts here and the far side. Put a weight in the middle on the centre line of the car, and when the camber is the same on these two plates, there's about a mil clearance here and a mil clearance on the far side, so they both have the same camber. They're both out the same distance from the side of this chassis leg here as well. And then the caster is the same. Tried to use lasers to try to get the caster angle the same, but the easiest way to actually do it was just to look down it and sort of eyeball it, and then use I can use the measuring tape on the laser. So there's a laser level going across here that's level, the whole car's level, and I can measure that and say that's 90 mil to this bolt here, and that's also 90 mil. This one's 80 mil, this one's 80 mil. So that's the way I got the caster level. Once the camber was the same, I was able to just twist the plates left and right to get the caster angle the same. And then I also have to get it so they're actually facing each other and not twisted that way as well. So there's a bit of work in doing that. Pretty sure I have that right, but I'm going to run string along the sides here on both sides and have them squared up with each other. I'm going to plate up from the sort of where the chassis leg is. It's like 3 skins there. I'm going to plate from there up to the strut top and then weld it all in. I have to do it sort of in sections because I'm using 2 mil steel and it's fairly hard to work with the bend and all that, and I can't just do a normal curved radius because this is sort of square here and then this is curved here, so to do it in sort of sections to get it welded in. What I plan to do is box this all in with one piece of metal and do this with another piece here, so I can weld down along the seam and keep all this strength still in here. I'll have to tidy all this up yet, that's just the plan so far. And then up here I'll do this in heavier 2mm stuff. I'll probably swing that back in another little bit into about here somewhere. So I'll box that off with the 2mm stuff down along here. And this part of the turret up here, I'm going to follow this arc down here in 2mm as well, just so I have something strong to weld at the end of this. Is part of the roll cage. I'll weld this bit into it, so that'll be all heavy 2mm stuff there with the roll cage tied into it. Could run another bar from the roll cage from here down at an angle down onto the bottom of the A-pillar down there, but I don't think we need to. So this will all be 2mm here, this will be 1mm here and here, and the rest of the arch all here at the front will all be 1mm as well. That's the plan so far. I have weld through primer in the backs of all these, because once this is welded in I'll never get to it again. It absolutely stinks when you're welding it. It smells horrible. So that's full droop on the suspension, so that's as low as it will go. Although the chassis leg is 1200, 1m20. Oh, sorry. So it'll go 180mm. Right, I think that's the ride height that's marked on a shock that it's going to run at. So that's 100mm off the road. Here. That looks good. Yeah, I think that's okay. All the turrets are all done, they're all welded up. There's a little small tub at the back here, that's all tied into the roll cage. All these bits that were at the back of the front wheel, they've all been moved back about 80mm, so that's all clearance there now. So there's quite a good bit of room from the wheel, even if he goes to bigger wheels, and that still should be all cleared. I can box this down in 2mm and drill holes in it and weld it all into these skins here. I didn't want to cut these off because this is 3 different skins, from the chassis leg in the engine, the inner skin on the arch, and another skin, strengthener skin coming from in here somewhere. It's all joining here together. So I didn't want to cut that off and drop my 2mm down. I thought it was better to leave that there, join on.